Welcome back to another episode of Twist of Fate, a small business podcast. This is another special episode filmed in sunny San Diego. And this episode is dedicated to our hockey and military veterans out there that are our listeners. You're special people. My name is Doug Younger. I'm the host of Twist of Fate. And today we're going to talk a little bit about how sports, about how hockey, and about generating enthusiasm for social impact for local communities brought forth by one of special organization, the San Diego Gulls. Now, I have been fortunate enough to work with them this past season on an official partnership to honor the military veteran heroes of games. And this has been a very special honor for me. For a lot of you listeners that don't know, I am definitely a multi-generational recipient of military service. My grandfather was a World War II master sergeant in the Army, and he taught a lot of lessons that has made me a better man, a better business person, and I really want to pay it forward for my family. And this partnership that the Gulls has helped me do has helped me fulfill a unique legacy thing for him, for me, and for my family. So the Gulls have brought two special guys that I've been working with, Kyle and Derek. Kyle and Derek, welcome to Twist of Fate.
Pleasure to be here, Doug. Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Fantastic. Now, did you guys come directly from Pechanga or in your corporate offices?
Go ahead.
And we were down at our corporate office in Mission Valley, so just right up the freeway here, 163.
That is a common question, though. People ask that all the time.
Yeah.
Like, do you work at the arena? No.
It's not as exciting as if you told me, like, you were, Doug, I came right off the ice.
Yeah, we just cut the ice. Kyle drives the Zamboni.
We have
I
done that,
usually
yeah.
edge right after the game, but we got a game tomorrow. So team's on the road. We're at the office today. We spend about 34 to hopefully more for some playoff games, but nights at Pechanga, but that's about it. Yeah, we're not there too much.
Okay, fantastic. Derek, why don't you lead off? So tell me, what do you do for the Gulls? Like, what do you do there?
I'm the manager of corporate partnerships. So my job essentially is to work with companies, either locally or outside of our local area here, that have a mutual interest in building their brand here in our community and then outside of our community, anywhere that our brand reaches. So just brands like yours, obviously, and we work with a bunch of other really great partners and help tell their story and attach our brand and find some synergy between the two for some mutually beneficial agreements. It's really fun.
Yeah, no, we've had a lot of fun this season. And then Kyle, yourself?
So Derek will go out and find these businesses and, kind of like-minded businesses that he just mentioned. And then when they come across the finish line, is the way to say it, and a partnership is formed, I kind of take over there and I make sure that everything in the contract gets activated upon. So, anywhere from in-game entertainment, signage across the boards, just whatever it may be, that's kind of where I take the reins and work with the partners on things like that.
So I think, Derek, you chose the key word here is synergy. And I think something that I would love to share for the entrepreneurs and my listeners out there that, again, one of the key lessons of an entrepreneur is to get out of the thought of competition and to get more into the thought of cooperation. And one thing I can say of the synergies to our organizations is this love of our military veterans, like that community. So tell me more, like you guys have been into this military veterans supporting the San Diego communities and families, like it's been a long time. Did that come from somewhere? And tell us a little bit more of some of the other programs you're doing and what we're doing together.
Yeah, so I think you hit the nail on the head. Synergy is key. And you can go out and when prospecting and trying to find new clients and clientele in the area, you can find anybody that might be wanting to jump on board with your brand. But you need to find the like-minded individuals and people that really believe in building the same thing you're building, right? The core values of the organization. So for us, being in San Diego, obviously huge military town. We've got Navy roots and Marine roots and Air Force roots here. So it's really important for us to honor, the reason we're here and the things that afford us the luxury to be here and do what we do. So, within this radius of this county, there's so much military presence, and without honoring that, we wouldn't be doing a service to the town that we live in. So it's very important for us to make sure that the men and women who serve every day, for us to be able to do what we do, are taken care of as well and honored and displayed on the way that they should be.
And we have been doing with you the military veteran hero of the game. Now that was done before this point, but I've been coming down once a month to acknowledge some of those veterans, and we've built some special relationships with a few of them too. But tell us more about that. Like, so you guys have been doing that, but like, you know, how does that fit into your programs?
So it's something that we always try and pride ourselves on, as Derek mentioned. You know, it's something that, again, we don't want to take it for granted, the efforts that these people have put forward and the bravery and the sacrifice, and you know, we want to pay that forward to your mention. And so that's something that whenever we try and find candidates that have, you know, served or are currently serving, and we want to show them off to our fans. You know, that's really what, again, we're there to play hockey, right? But there's so much, we have this reach, and we're averaging, you know, 7,000 fans in the building per game, right? Like you have so many people coming to see you, so many eyeballs, that we want to take advantage of things like this. And that's why we're so grateful for partnerships like yours that, again, want to highlight those, because it's something that when you look at it from a standpoint of, you know, I can have blinders on and I can go to work every day and just, you know, work hockey games. Sure, you can look at it like that, but there's so many untapped opportunities out there, and just the military aspect is one of them too. And you know, you mentioned other initiatives as well, like on top of the military. Every night we do a community outreach kind of highlight, if you will.
Yep. Which has inspired me.
Exactly.
There's some great businesses there.
And exactly. So we try and, you know, obviously they may not be veterans or currently serving active military personnel, but they're people that are doing great work in our community, and we want to highlight them just the same too. So it's really something that we focus on.
Hint, hint. One of your community businesses will be on a future Twist of Fate episode. So, like, you know, talking about pay it forward, like you guys are already like paving the way.
It's called a leader right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
On top of what Kyle said, and that was what really made this partnership with you guys attractive, with 3 Steps Forward attractive, is the fact that it's not just about putting the military hero on the spotlight, standing up clapping for 2-3 minutes in that game. It's more than that. And every time you do come to town, it's about that networking. It's Doug wants FaceTime with these people, to talk to them, to know that they're supported, right? We can stand up and clap and thank them and shake their hand, and that's all great. But they got lives beyond this, right? And like these men and women that we're putting up there are in business. Some are still active duty. Some of them are looking to start their own business. And so the fact that you're there and we're there to help support them in whatever venture it is really what it's all about at the root of it, right? So like, it's not just about putting them up on the screen and throwing an American flag up and attaching your name to it. It's really about getting behind them and helping them do what they're doing in their path.
So a compliment I have to give to you, particularly Derek, is that when we first started talking about cooperating, keyword entrepreneurs, that as a partner, I will admit I was being provocative. Maybe you don't know this story, but one of the things that I brought up was that I wanted to acknowledge our military servicemen, not just for their service to the country or for their service in conflict. I wanted to honor them because a lot of people don't appreciate that they are their fathers, mothers, sisters, brothers. They are business people and driving forces for the economy. A lot of people, I think, look to, you know, the potential trauma or PTSD or other things without celebrating these amazing people there. And you got it. Like he just got it. And I think it was the start of a great long-term partnership.
It's always been a huge passion of mine, because what people sometimes look past is how tough that transition is from the life in the military to back to civilian life and starting that business. When you live that daily regimented military lifestyle, it's almost, you know, rhythmic, melodic, like robotic to a sense, right? Like you have it set. Your day to day is all good to go. And when you come out, they give you your paper and they say, see you later, right? And they're here to help you a little bit here and there, but they're not going to run your business for you. Yep. So when you get out, and that transition is so important, because like you said, there's other things affecting it, whether it be mental health or physical health or all sorts of factors that come in, and their families and things like that. And we need to be able to support them in that transition, getting them back out there and into this professional lifestyle that isn't maybe quite as regimented as what they're used to.
Yeah, and the we being the key word, is all of our collective responsibilities. We all have a commitment that we need to give to our servicemen and women back. So great stuff. So Derek mentioned something about passion. And I will admit, like in a previous Twist of Fate episode, you will learn that actually I was like a tennis prodigy. That's something that you guys will learn. And
Do
I
you
can
have any tape on that? Can we see some tape?
footage. You want footage?
Yeah, come on. I mean,
Maybe
He was on the Ocho once or twice.
Yeah,
maybe we'll show some things of me back in the day. But I can tell you that I've seen this passion for hockey. It's not something that I was born with, like a tennis racket in my hand. But I can see the enthusiasm from the crowd, from your players, and from you guys. And what you guys can't tell here, I mean, these are some good-looking big men. Like, look at you guys. Like, you guys are like.
We have to get the makeup artist back in here.
No. Look, you guys. That's one thing I appreciate of hockey is like, it takes a big, burly, agile player to accomplish there. Now, hockey, both of you play as well, right? Could you, Kyle, you, and I was shocked actually. I go, until I saw you face to face, because we met in COVID, guys. So, COVID, you don't really know.
You see the little Zoom square.
Yeah.
You see that, and everything's all equal.
Zoom needs to pay a couple bucks for that shout out on the podcast too.
Zoom should do that, but that's okay. I digress. But then I looked up to Kyle when I met you, and I go, oh yeah, he's a hockey player. So tell me more about that.
So it's funny actually. So I'm originally from Massachusetts, right? So my dad played hockey growing up. It was in my blood. It was, he had this whole plan for me. He could see his kid playing, Division I college hockey, right? He had this plan. He was gonna let me do whatever I wanted to do, but you could always tell that it was either hockey or golf he wanted me to get into. So I'm growing up. It comes time to do our learn to skate. That you're in kindergarten. It's that whole time where you're like, all right, here we go. Going to put my kids on skates for the first time, send them out on the ice, and see where they go. Watch their hockey career take off. And I came off the ice in tears, and my dad said, "What's wrong?" And again, I'm in kindergarten, and I said, I was like, the ice is too slippery. So that was the beginning and the end. Yeah, beginning and the end of my organized hockey career. And so the irony of it is that being from a hockey hotbed of Massachusetts, and now I've moved to Southern California, and I play the most hockey I've played in my entire life. Like, I think we average at least like 2 to 3 skates a week. But it really does give you such an appreciation for the game itself, because we can get used to seeing these guys on a nightly basis be like, we can tell when they're not playing well, right? We watch them enough where it's like they don't have it tonight, but you still see on a night that they don't have it. Either of us will never attain that level, like even get close to that level.
Speak for yourself, Kyle.
Okay, well, yeah. I'm like Wayne Gretzky over here. I will never get to that level. So but we can still go back to having our fun nights where we play on a men's league team together, and a lot of our Gulls personnel do the same. And so it's really cool because it brings us together in that sense. And actually, to the previous point about military as well, we have a teammate of ours that we recently honored at a game because we had.
Get out! Like one of the players you're saying.
Yeah, one of our teammates.
Our beer league.
Exactly.
Players.
Yeah.
On our men's league team.
Yeah.
So it was funny because we had a last minute cancellation. Someone we were going to honor unfortunately couldn't make the game. So we said, who are we going to grab? And we said, you know what? Like, Kelly's a veteran.
We got 2 or 3 guys on the team. We'll just pick somebody up.
And to your point earlier, like, that's what I think is so cool about being in this area and having such a veteran presence is that, like, I knew Kelly as the hockey player. Like, he's my men's league teammate, right? I didn't know him as a veteran, but he has this whole life outside of that. And then when we're kind of looking at what his resume was, if you will, and from his service, and we're like, this guy's incredible. Like,
we're skating with a bad man.
Yeah, we're like, good Lord. Like, so it's
and by bad man, I mean good man.
Yeah, right, exactly. So it's really cool to see that. And, like, again, the hockey world is small, and then you go to, like, a men's league in Southern California, it becomes even smaller. So it really is cool how it brings people together.
Let me say this about a lesson you just taught my listeners. Any organization can benefit with public acknowledgement of your team players. Sure. And the fact that the Gulls would honor one of your own, not just for military service, but also service to the organization. I mean, that's what makes you guys unique. And it's an infectious culture. Your fans are ravenous, the environment is so great. And a second point I will say, I'm sure, Kyle, your father would be proud now, because although maybe you didn't embrace the traditional path to hockey, maybe you're creating more impact now.
Absolutely.
You know, for the respecting the game and kind of bringing forward businesses like myself and getting us more, like, I would not have been in the culture of hockey if I hadn't have met you guys. Yeah. So maybe you should tell your dad that, right?
Exactly. And I think it's funny too when people come out and they say, like, the typical hockey fan, or I'm sorry, excuse me, the typical non-hockey fan, sports fan in general maybe, just a casual passerby. You say hockey, word association immediately goes to fighting, right? That's the first thing I think Derek would agree with me. Like, that's the first thing we get is, oh, how many fights do you see per game, right? Okay, sure, that's your first thought. But you come to a game and you can really see that up close and in person. You leave that game, you're like, oh, maybe I saw a fight, that was really cool, but did you see that guy, what he did in the first period when you're around, you know, and you leave with such a greater appreciation.
Well, let me tell you this. I think something you can share with your marketing teams that this is great that you brought up this point. Predate me working with you two. I would have definitely been in the camp that when you say hockey, you think fighting. But after working with you one season, when someone says hockey, the first thing I think is community. And that's what you guys, that's your legacy. Like, I mean, look, you want to talk community. Like, I brought my eldest son to a game. You guys remember this? Yeah. And you know what? It wasn't a game. It was Star Wars night.
It was Star Wars against a big rival, too. It was a good game.
Look, great night of hockey. There's Yoda references. It was like Comic-Con in there. Like, people are in costumes. And, I mean, my son loved that night. It meant so much because he's a Star Wars fan, and now he associates hockey, Star Wars, and the Gulls. Yeah. And look, is that not community? There's nothing about fighting in any of what I just described.
And part of it, Doug, is being in the American Hockey League, the AHL. We're the second level down from the NHL. So at the major league level of sport, the major focus is on the game, right? The product on the ice, as we call it. Mm-hmm. In our level, we might lose our top guy on a day-to-day basis, right? He's going to get called up. He's going to get sent down. Somebody gets injured. He gets called up. We're out our big guy. And we got this big game tonight. We got to play. So we got to paint the picture a little bit more off the ice than some of the traditional major league sports do and bring in that Star Wars feel and Yoda and the Comic-Con type vibe. So it's along with building that community and bring people back. So now your son wants to come back. He might be let down when Yoda's not at the next game.
No, but then you know what? Then it's casino night.
It is.
Correct.
So see, look, I know these things now, right?
We just had another big community one with Hockey Fights Cancer last Saturday, which was awesome. The team wears purple uniforms that night. All of our community efforts go towards Susan G. Komen and some other organizations. So there's always something going on at a Gulls hockey game beyond what's happening on the ice, and we have a great product on the ice on top of that. So it all really comes together as a
real quick to that point too. Like Derek mentioned, the NHL, they have a lot more red tape with what they're able to do marketing wise. So they'll do specialty jerseys every now and again, but they're warm up jerseys. The players take them off and they put back on their regular sweaters for the game. We can kind of do pretty much whatever we want in that sense, where it's like, casino night jerseys, like those were real hot. Our fans loved those. They couldn't wait to buy them. 80s night a couple seasons ago was a smashing success.
People still ask for 80s night.
Listen, so I do this webinar once a month at the San Diego Regional Chamber of Commerce, 3,500 small businesses. And once a month I go on there, I talk about different marketing things. And I'm notorious for dropping Gulls mentions and references. I'm notorious for this.
And we're in a jersey usually.
So this is where I'm going. So I went on there, and one of the promotions was the jerseys you guys have with the stars and stripes on it.
Yeah, our military weekend. Yeah.
If you knew how many emails I got after that, and they said, Doug, it was Veterans Night?
Yeah,
or what game was that?
Military weekend is
military weekend. That's it.
It encompasses Veterans Day typically on our schedule, so it's early to mid-November. November 11th, I believe, is Veterans Day, and we usually have a game or two that coincides with that date. So we'll run it the whole week. We'll do the red, white, and blue theme.
Let me tell you, I got 4 or 5 emails about this military week, right? And one guy wrote, like, Doug, you are my guy. I've been trying to get that military jersey for years now. It always sells out.
Instantly.
And it just makes the point that I think for a lot of entrepreneurs listening, that you cannot underestimate the impact of swag, merchandise, when paired with positive social causes. These associations create situations that it allows many enthusiasts to find that common ground. And I really can say, like, it's amazing. And look, your collectibles, like, I think there's a Gulls trading cards that you guys have. I have in my office, and everybody asks, like, hey, you got another one?
And that's the best part about that merch and the stuff that we do surrounding these causes, the purple jerseys, the military weekend jerseys, because even casino night, we have a cause behind it that's relevant to the jersey. So specifically military weekend, we have disabled veterans charities that we're giving to with each sale of every jersey, right? We have auctions on the player worn jerseys. We've got the new replica jerseys at the stands. We've got hats and shirts and everything that go along with it. And there's a give back to everything. So it's not just about, piggybacking on to some good cause and saying, like, look what we're doing. It's about giving back directly dollars to those organizations.
Now, giving back is a great segue to the fact that the Gulls have a nonprofit foundation. And to your point, those auctions, like the causes, every time I'm in town, I'm like, I mean, how can you just not get behind some of these things, right? So if you don't mind, like, maybe you guys can tell them a little bit more about the Gulls Foundations and some of the causes that, for some of these auctions, or the things that they've given to in the past.
Yeah, so I think it's, to your point, they do a phenomenal job of finding these different community partners and whatnot, and finding these organizations that are doing great work. And we're lucky enough to have them out and highlight them on a day-to-day basis. And I think what is really cool about our foundation that we do every night is community night. And so it is a night to have, again, the spotlight is on them. And on the concourse, we line up, like 8 to 10 different local nonprofits, whatever it may be, and they come out and we give away what are called Gulls bucks. And so
I've seen them. I've seen them.
So everyone gets a Gulls buck on their way in, every fan, every patron, and they can go and place their buck in whichever box they feel, a sense of strength toward.
Called to.
Exactly. And so, actually another one of our partners who you now know, A Bridge for Kids, they work with underprivileged children who have kind of had a tough go growing up and are really kind of go-getters in their schools and are really destined for stardom. And so they see these kids and they say, hey, we want to help you get there. And so...
Great organization.
Right, exactly.
Fantastic.
And so A Bridge for Kids...
concourse is filled with something that's going to touch somebody, right?
Yeah. And that's just one organization. And so to answer your question, our community relations team does a phenomenal job of finding these different organizations and highlighting them through different ways of, whether it be our golf tournament, different advocations throughout the community, and kind of going out to them, not saying, you come to us and we'll help you out, but it's like, I see you and I'm going to come to you and enter your world and let's make this happen. I want to make it as easy on you as possible, more than just a monetary donation, because I think anyone can do that, but it's really about creating awareness and making sure that our fans have a direct pipeline to these organizations and can help out in their own way.
So that's brilliant that you mentioned this, Kyle, because we have nonprofit listeners and philanthropists, and I think one of the criticisms of a nonprofit is for the donor dollar that goes in, how is it allocated? And I think that I saw this night that you mentioned where you're empowering the fans to say, you donate to the cause that you believe in or that resonates with your frame of reference, and then dollars can be allocated appropriately. I really think it's and
it's without the pressure of dollars coming out of their pocket too. It's they don't pay additional to get these Gulls bucks. It's every single fan through the door had that choice.
Yeah, but I can tell you what happens. They put that dollar in, that Gulls dollar in, and then suddenly they want to do more. Yeah. I've seen it.
They're usually called to that charity auction.
Absolutely. They're gonna write checks. They're gonna say, oh, I want to do more, because you've connected the dots for some community organization to people that would not know about it. Again, I applaud you guys for that. But Derek, I'm not going to let you off. So you play hockey too.
Oh, yeah.
again, these guys are physical specimens. You know, I got some love handles now. I'm not the tennis player that I used to be. So.
Doug mentioned the word prodigy. I was really good at getting concussions. So I might be a prodigy in that sense, that I was really good at hitting my head. I played hockey growing up here in San Diego, oddly enough. I found the game of hockey around the age of 9. I actually was a water boy for the Gulls.
Oh.
Yeah, like that.
Get out of here.
At that point, they were the WCHL Gulls back in 1995. Yeah, I'm old.
I was going to say dating.
And I was a water boy for the team. All the way, I worked for the team from mid-90s all the way till 2005 when the team ceased operations at that point. That iteration of the Gulls in 2005 was in the East Coast Hockey League, oddly enough. Misnomer, of course. But, so I started playing hockey about 9, and I wasn't very good. I was a big guy, so I like to kind of throw the weight around a little bit. And
but you were skating before that, or was it through hockey?
No, it was through the Gulls that I learned hockey. Yeah, and that speaks to go back to the community relations team. I think it speaks a lot about what they do, growing the game outside of the arena with the youth, and a lot of the focus that they provide on the youth aspect of their organization. We've got a reading program, but on top of that, we have a learn to play program that's completely free for kids. They can go out, and it's I believe it's a 6-week program. They'll give them all the gear to use for the 6 weeks. They can go out and learn hockey and try it and learn to skate. Hockey's not only is it...
You put your son in this program.
I did. He started when he was 4 years old. I think. Yeah. I mean, and he fell in love with it. And hockey is, the barrier for entry to hockey is a little different. It's kind of an expensive sport to try.
Yeah, because all the equipment.
Yeah, and you get a pair of skates is a couple $100, and ice time's not cheap. And by the time you get we have kids, Doug, so we know how this works. You might lose interest in 5 minutes and never want to go back. And now
always a risk.
And now you got $1,000 tied up in this thing, and you're like, what do I do now? So the CR team gets out there and lets these kids try this, right? And the goal is building community again, and the interest in this game, because if we don't grow it at a youth level, by the time these young people are making the decisions to what they're going to do in their spare time, we don't have hockey fans anymore, right? And we're in San Diego. There's a lot to do. So we need hockey fans at the end of the day.
No, I there's truth to what you say. I think you should know, like, socially, when I'm in the arena, I got to squeeze into my monkey suit, right? I have my tie on, right? You guys know about this. Right?
Clean pair of shoes.
Clean pair of shoes, right?
We might have to have a whole episode just on your shoes. We need to see the closet like crib style.
I may take you up on that. But I can tell you, one of the most common icebreaker conversations I have with some of your fans is that, do their kids play hockey? And I have seen many mothers that I've talked to, just the level of pride that I see in their eyes, that, my kid's learning to skate. Or another woman I met, and she just said, one day, Doug, my son is going out on that ice. And the enthusiasm, I go back to, you guys have created, with your organization, culture, community, and keyword pride. So for my listeners that are entrepreneurs, in your business, whether it's sports, whatever sector you're in, these are very strong concepts for business. Otherwise, it's just a widget, or it's not memorable, right?
Spin the wheels. Hockey's deep rooted in tradition. So I feel like I'm a better person. I came out of the sport of hockey as a better person, right? I'm a better person for having played hockey. And that tradition on the ice, there's rules. It's just like any other sport. There's some written rules and there's some unwritten rules, right? And it teaches you things, and the camaraderie through teammates and standing up for each other. It's not just about dropping the gloves and fighting. There's a why behind it, right?
Oh, yeah.
So it taught me a lot, and it's great for the kids. And I've been proven, pretty safe. All things considered, you're strapping blades on your feet and going out there and hitting each other, but they don't start that till they get a little bit older.
The irony is that when we get older, the older you get in the game of hockey, the more risk there is with injury, because you get out there I didn't stretch, I pulled a hammy, and
I slept.
You see that, you see that a lot. Two guys on the bench.
Let me tell you a personal story. So it wasn't my first time skating, but that's not too hard because I haven't been on the ice that much. So I came down to your practice facility and we were filming some pictures and some footage, and I went out on the ice with you guys, and you know, I was in a suit again, the monkey suit squeezed in.
That was strike one.
Yeah. Oh, well, in your mind, but to me,
I
I was
just
having fun.
I just mean, it was gonna be tough.
Yeah.
It made it harder on you.
Yeah.
Listen. So these photos start going back to my employees, and it was one of my artists said like, "Oh my God, Doug, you're gonna hurt yourself." And I respond, and I said, "Oh, you think I'm gonna fall?" And she said, "Of course you're gonna fall." And here's my response. It doesn't matter how many times I fall, I'm gonna get up.
Get back up.
There you go.
And I can tell you something that is a lesson right there that as an entrepreneur, get used to it. You're gonna fall a lot, and you can't be afraid of the injury. You just have to get up. You guys do it in hockey all the time. You guys are better skaters than I, so you're not gonna fall as
We
much.
could have given you some better tools that day, Doug.
Yeah, the skates
We
were
put this
tough,
we
too.
put this man in some rental skates, and anybody out there that's listening that might have skated in their life, rental skates are not easy to skate in. Like these aren't meant for good skaters. They're meant for somebody who's just gonna go out there and kind of float around during public session. And you put a stick in your hand, you're ready to go.
It's like trying to go to a NASCAR race with Fred Flintstone's car. Like it's
Listen,
just not gonna.
And
work.
for anybody who's wondering, in the end, Doug did fall,
Several times. But look, you don't have to walk it down.
but he's still walking right now. We're good.
Listen, I think you guys, you've gotten used to my personality. Yeah. I'm gonna work with whatever I got, and I'm gonna make the best of it, right? So we had fun.
You didn't hesitate. You did not hesitate.
Hey, right out
And
there.
I was like, okay. I thought about, I'm like, should we go get him a different pair of skates? Because this is Mission Impossible right now. But we're like, let's go.
You made it
All right,
work.
let's do it.
You made it
We made
work.
it
No. It's special moment. Definitely check out that photo. It's on the internet. We've put it out there.
Video, I believe, as well.
There's a video as well. There's a webisode where I'm on there and proudly, yes, I skated unsuccessfully, but I got to where I needed to be to do it.
You got a couple laps in.
Well, I can say the key to skating is the hockey stick. Like that. Suddenly you got
for
this.
starting out.
It's about
For
If you
starting
use
out,
that
yeah.
hockey stick as a tripod, you're gonna get exposed real quick because I'm just gonna come in.
Right? No, don't do that. Don't do that, Derek. No. You're right about that. That for balance, that was the key, right? For sure. Yeah.
So all the kids, you see them skating, they're kind of leaning on it.
They're smart. They're smart. So no, okay. So in all seriousness, I can tell you that a partnership is the way to go as small business or an entrepreneur. For a lot of reasons you're hearing now. It can help you build community, culture, pride, and for you guys as a partner, like we've done some great things together, and I look forward to doing more. I'm curious, for you guys, like, is there some key initiatives for the Gulls as partners or as an organization as a whole that you're looking forward to? I mean, now we're out of the pandemic. Well, we're all done. No, I should say we're all done with the pandemic, right? Whether the pandemic's done with us, that's another story. But we're looking to go beyond that, right? So where are you guys going in the future here? Like, what's next for the Gulls?
For the team itself, it's just continuing to build that brand. We like to advertise that yes, our hockey team is good. It's the 6 years we've been really in operation, we've made the playoffs all but 1 year, and so right, exactly. And so like that's going to attract people to our games. But beyond that, it's all these different initiatives. There's a laundry list of them that each department within itself and then collectively as a whole, we're all trying to push toward. As we like to say, we're pulling on the same rope. We really want to make this be the best brand in San Diego that it possibly can be, and just go beyond San Diego as well. Actually, so I had worked for a hockey team previously in North Carolina, and I had heard about the Gulls. Like that's what drew me to come out here. It was like I want to work for that organization, and so there's brand
loyal,
exactly.
ravenous fans. Like
Exactly.
that is the Gulls. Like
right.
You guys.
Yeah. San Diego hockey fans are built different.
It's incredible. But and then I think at a more local level, like even within our department, the corporate partnerships department, right? Like we love seeing. You're a perfect example. We love seeing partners mingling with each other and getting to know and like helping each other out, you know. So like you coming down. And,
Oh, you see, I'm not shy at all.
exactly,
Right?
and it's not just you either. It's we want to, you know, through the Gulls Business Alliance, things like that. Which unfortunately because of COVID we had to punt this year, but again next year that's going to come back better than ever. So
Just so everybody knows, the Gulls Business Alliance was part of our partnership that, due to COVID, we had to rethink. But our goal is to create, what I want is a lot of the military veterans that are business owners in the area. I would like that to try to rally them together to do a pitch competition so that those businesses get the public relations, the community, the connections of working with the Gulls, but then also I will be able to give some type of monetary incentive and provide 6 months of free marketing services to a business that I mean, for many of you listening, if you're in your first 6 months, you know, coming up with that minimum viable product or product market fit is a challenge. To have an organization like 3 Steps Forward, work with them, we think we can make the difference in them being successful. And, you know, my goal, which I think it aligns with you guys, is that, you know, SBA statistics would say 99% of startups can fail within 10-year time frame. If I'm successful, I can make it that maybe 98% of startups fail. And just that 1% will make me satisfied enough that I made a difference, that I made a world a better place. And I could not do it without partners like you.
exactly, and
I
so
really do
we
feel
take that mentality and we say, you know, there's got to be beneficial working relationships within just the, you know, the 20 some odd partners that we have within the Gulls. Like again, like your work with a Bridge for Kids, things like that. Like, you know, they're
We're starting to socialize.
I was gonna say,
we're starting to socialize.
we're coming together, and it's that's what we really try and strive on, a, you know, from a local department level with us. But then as a team as a whole, it's just continuing to push out that brand, and we want the Gulls to be synonymous with both success on the ice and success off the ice.
If we're already vetting you as a potential partner, and then we partner up, and we've already vetted the other partner, and we partner up with them, they already know. Now they're comfortable because they know, hey, we all have that similar mindset and the same organizational goals and similar organizational goals to say, hey, we're on the same wavelength, right? Mm-hmm. Like, that's a warm intro now. It's not a cold intro anymore. It's a warm intro. So that's a room you want to be in, and that's the goal behind the Business Alliance event, is that we're going to put a whole bunch of like-minded people in the same room and just watch fireworks go off because it's going to be rad. You're going to see people doing business in months' time or days' time or weeks' time that didn't know each other 20 minutes ago.
100%.
Yeah.
You guys
100%.
may bond over a favorite player or something too. You know, you got hockey in the background as all these conversations.
More likely, it's going to be one of those limited edition, hard to get jerseys that you guys talking about. That's what's going to happen.
Also that, yeah.
Because now I've got enough of them that some people may wonder, like, which one do you have? Do you got that casino night jersey? Yeah. Or I've gotten some of that
too. Collectibles, man. There's some of those early season ones that pop up every now and then. I see them go for prices, and I'm like, what? I probably got one of those in the closet.
We have a fan who just our last game on Wednesday told us that he has 51 jerseys. He has worn a different jersey to every game this season.
He's 4 games away from wearing a different jersey.
Yeah, and he can go legitimately almost all through next season without having to change his jersey.
See, this is what I'm talking about. See, you guys are, like, I'm a marketer, and in terms of target marketing, personas, knowing your customer, you found the one that collected all of those things and know it. And I'm sure he's going to be acknowledged at some point in some interesting way.
We know his mom's name. We know his daughter's name.
Lesson learned from many of you. Know your customer.
Your customers at some point become family. I mean, this is year 7 for me in season. You know, I'm about to finish the 7th season. So these people have known, they've seen my kids grow up. I've seen their kids grow up, vice versa. Some of them know me from the previous iterations of the team and have seen me since I was 9-10 years old. So it's, your customers become family at some point, and there's your network even growing exponentially further. It doesn't have to be in business, you know what I mean? This is just a client, now a friend of mine, said, hey, you know what? I got so-and-so down the street. He has this company, X. You should check him out.
No, Derek, you're playing with a secret sauce. Business is the manifestation of life, and that two or complementary interested people coming together to cooperate, that is business.
It's not always a financial transaction.
Absolutely. It's not financial. It's not about crushing your enemy. It's not about having that really fancy car and the belief that you'll be, Elon Musk or Iron Man. It's more about making the world.
I do want to send a
better
car
place.
into space, though. That'd be cool.
You would like to?
Just like ship a car into space, like just for fun, like Elon.
I'm sure he's going to accomplish many of those things. But while he's doing that, yeah, we have an obligation and responsibility to make our communities better. And I love the fact that you say family, right?
Well, actually, I'll touch on that too. You want us to talk about family? Like we have, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Willie OReilly. So Willie OReilly was the first black.
Oh
NHL
yeah, so
player.
Derek talking about this. Yeah.
So
He's the
and
Jackie Robinson of hockey.
exactly, and he is
On Jackie Robinson Day, we're filming this episode.
There you
too.
go.
So
And
it's full circle.
yeah,
we
correct,
came in right here.
correct.
Today's Jackie Robinson
exactly. Yeah.
Day.
There you go. Bang. Good.
I
good-
haven't
good
met him
segue.
yet though.
So and
He
well,
just started coming back to games.
So that's to my point is that he's an icon, right? You're in the hockey community. Say the name Willie OReilly, everyone knows who he is. And so he played for the Bruins. So even growing up, I knew who he was just as a Bruins fan. That was my team, and then I knew Willie OReilly, right? And so now he is local in San Diego. His number's retired in our rafters, and he is still as much a part of the team as the last time he laced up skates. Like he is around all the time. He knows everybody. Everyone knows him. Hey Willie, how you doing? He's giving out autographs, handshakes here and there. He's doing community events for us or with us. And so that's really cool because you have somebody, and I think it speaks to the Gulls and the job we've been able to do.
You're providing
in that
inspiration.
community.
You're providing
because
inspiration.
he's an absolute legend, and he could be doing anything, anywhere he wants to be doing, and yet he's staying in San Diego, and he's still so closely tied with the Gulls that, again, he's coming out to games on a
The
on a
man's
Tuesday night.
86 or 87 years
Yeah.
old, and he still has a role with the NHL where he goes and works to bring hockey to youth that wouldn't typically be introduced to hockey, whether it's in a different part of town that doesn't have access to it. And he works with these youth to introduce them to the game. This is a hockey Hall of Famer that has ties to the Gulls. Unreal.
Two points I want to raise when you told me about him. First of all, never underestimate the fact that even as an entrepreneur, a business owner myself, it's inspirational for me to see an African-American man impact a sport like what you guys have created a platform for him and the respect and honor of what he did. That's one. Two, I have a personal story I can share with you. After one of the military veteran awards that I gave, one of the custodians came up to me. He's an African-American man, crying. And he hugged me like he was a family member. And he told me, for him, to see me up there honoring military service with a company and like my people that were with me behind me and sharing my story with the Mount Soledad people, great people, it was inspiring to him. Because he had 2 sons in military, and he said, I know because you're out there that there's a chance when they come back, they won't be lost. You have to, I don't know if you guys truly appreciate the impact to the lives of people you're having now. Like, the Gulls fans and for me personally, like these are some of the motivators that you're making a difference. And, with being an entrepreneur, you gotta celebrate the little successes, but that's one of those special moments for me at this Gulls thing, that if I could inspire this custodian, and if you could inspire me, we're going in the right direction.
You said it takes one person, 1%. If we did one, we did it right, and it was worth everything we put into it, and we put a lot into this. We've been talking about this for.
Listen, man, we're flying together, right? Isn't that like a Gulls thing, right? Fly together, like we are flying together.
I think I see. Not to cut you off. I think I see that on a game to game basis too, and not with someone as iconic as Willie, but legitimately any fan, whoever it may be, like. We're on the ice all the time. We're on that level. We're walking on the ice. We skate on that ice. We're doing everything, right? But that ice is coveted to a 6-year-old kid in the bleachers, right? He's sitting all the way up there. He's like, wow, like that'd be really cool to get on that ice. And I've taken you on that ice before too. And it's like that's a once in a lifetime memorable experience for someone like that. And again, I can do that anytime I want. I do it every game. It's sort of
take it for granted.
Right, exactly. You almost.
Let me tell you. Kyle took me out on the ice. Not only was I honored, I've been on basketball courts, tennis courts, but walking off the ice and mingling with the other fans after that, it meant so much to them. They're like, you were down on the ice. And for me, I just have this such appreciation for the culture of, first of all, military, the fans, San Diego. I mean, again, one thing that you have accomplished, the first word I can say when I think of hockey, it is not fighting. It is community.
You never see me and Kyle play, but.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. No,
Gloves have been dropped.
You guys are funny.
You're 100% right. It's the game is being reimagined or redefined, I guess, at this point, and it's more than just what happens on the ice. It's about who's in the stands, what's going on in the stands, and what the total community impact is. Like, what are we doing here?
You'd be amazed to see how far a warm-up puck will go. Handing that kid to a kid, they light up, and it's that's something that I've legitimately had fans come back to me at games seasons later and say, hey, I want to thank you again for that. Like, I'm looking, I'm like, because again, I do it so often that I'm like, I'm struggling to remember who they were, but then it clicks. They're like, oh, you gave my son a puck at
A fist bump.
Exactly, yeah, fist bump, anything like that. We love fist bumps now.
Big fist bump team.
COVID.
So I would hope that how can my listeners, if they want to get in touch with the Gulls, I bet that some of the businesses on here may want to partner with the Gulls and join in this community. If they want to do that, how do they get in touch with you guys in the organization?
Well, there's so many different ways. It could be on a level of ticket sales. They want to come out to every game or a smaller package, something like that, right? But that's on the surface level. There's so many different ways that our ears are always open. We're always looking for new ideas. And what I mentioned earlier about we don't have that kind of red tape that we see at the NHL level. We can get really creative with how we allow people to be involved. And I think that's what's really cool about our level is, it can be any kind of, it could be monetary or it can just be spending community time, whatever it may be. Any way you want to get involved, we're always open to it. And it's, again, it's just about getting creative.
You can reach out. All of our contact information for Kyle and I is on the website. Beyond that, if you're not local to San Diego, you can watch all of our games. Typically, AHL TV is going to be the place to go. We do have Fox 5 San Diego broadcast, which you can find.
That's new this year?
No, we've had partnered with Fox 5 for at least 4, maybe 5 seasons.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, and the amount of games being broadcast each season has grown year over year, so it's great.
I think that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
because it seemed very accessible.
Yeah, it's awesome,
and that speaks to our fans too, because that number of viewership has grown. They've said, give us more games, we'll take them.
It's out of date.
Exactly.
And beyond that, the like you talked about the specialty jerseys and financial impact on charitable organizations, the jersey auctions and the pucks and the hats and everything that our community relations department auctions off. There are some in-game only, but most of that's done through a digital platform, which anybody can do in the world. So you click on this link through our social media at SDGullsAHL, and you can bid from Sacramento, or you can bid from Florida, you can bid from New York, wherever you're at. You can support these organizations and get those cool specialty jerseys that you're talking about too. So, like Kyle said, there's endless possibilities if you want.
You guys are on radio too.
Yep. We have a Gulls Radio network hosted on the iHeart Radio platform. So we have our own dedicated channel. It's a 24/7 streaming channel. So if we don't have a live game or a radio show going on at that time, they'll replay old games or replay old episodes of SoCal Hockey Talk and things like that. And that's where you can stream all of our games live too.
And you guys got me on there, right?
Like you're on it. That's why I mentioned SoCal Hockey Talk. I believe it was 2 episodes ago, right?
Absolutely. I had a lot of fun.
First episode of April or first episode of March, maybe?
I had a lot of fun, and I can tell you for partners that are out there, again, look at all the benefits of cooperation, being the key word. So, look, thank you both for coming for this episode of Twist of Fate. My final thoughts for our listeners out there. I think you heard some very powerful, compelling ideas for business. If you can take your company, no matter how small, and if you can create culture, community, and pride, you're not just creating a customer, you're creating a fan. And that's what you guys have done with me. If I had to summarize my experience of being a partner of the Gulls this year is not just about the money. It's not just about a partnership. I'm now a fan. Not just a fan of the community. I'm a fan of hockey. And I'm a fan of you too. That's why I really wanted you guys to come in for this. So thank you for coming. To those out there, thanks for listening. And looking forward to having another episode of Twist of Fate.
Twist of Fate is hosted by Doug Younger. It's produced by John Lundvid and Matthew Brown at Ezo Creative. Moni Yu designs our graphics, and Enrique Pimentel manages our digital life. Our theme music is by Jamie Bathgate. Special thanks to all of our patrons. You can support the show by visiting patreon.com/Twist of Fate podcast. Thanks for listening.